Tired of feeling tired? Done with diet culture? Overwhelmed by conflicting nutrition and fitness messages? Then join us, your hosts of the Nutrition Revolution podcast, as we take a deep dive into all things women's fitness and nutrition. I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Tabitha. And together we are debunking diet culture myths and giving you the tools you need to finally see the results you're looking for. It's time to revolutionize your nutrition and training.
Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to talk about calories, but calories in a different way. So I have a lot of clients, and I myself have found myself in the same exact cycle of remember when 100-calorie packs were the thing?
I thought it still was.
A soccer mom healthy. I remember that being all the lunches were these 100-calorie packs, or
100-calorie pack of Oreos,
100-calorie
Oreo crisps,
thins.
Yes. Oreo thins, and yeah.
So I can have this because it's only 100 calories. And so I see this still happening, and I come from a family history of grazers, right? So I remember growing up, and we didn't really eat meals except for dinner. Dinner was a big, beautiful meal. My mom always had roasts and veggies and, all of the delicious things that we smelled cooking all day long. But for breakfast and lunch, it was you're on your own, good luck. What's in the, so I grew up in this, we would eat a handful of wheat thins and some peanut butter and just kind of graze throughout the day, a handful of this, a handful of that. And it wasn't just sitting down and eating meals. So when I started noticing changes in my health and wellness, it was because I was starting to, with paleo, I learned to make meals. And so I was eating meals, and I was oh man, I'm actually full. I'm not craving sugar. I'm not craving these things because I'm actually eating meals. And it's so interesting now with clients when I see their food journals or what they're tracking. It's this grazing lifestyle, right? I had 100-calorie pack of mini muffins for breakfast with my coffee. I had 100-calorie pack of wheat thins with a salad. I had 100-calorie pack of Oreos, and then I wasn't really hungry for dinner, so I just had some veggies and chicken. It just is this grazing kind of lifestyle. And so I was watching this video on Instagram, and it was this nutritionist, and she was showing these two containers, and one of them she was putting in 100-calorie protein bar versus 100 calories of potatoes, and the difference, watching these jars
in the
fill
volume
up. Yeah. And so by the end of it, she had the jar of Whole Foods was just overflowing, and it was colorful and it was nutritious. And then the other jar was this flat, scattered handful of M&Ms, half a donut, because you can't eat the whole donut, right? It's half a donut. And, and I got me thinking, this is why we're hungry, right? If you visualize those jars as our stomachs, eating those 100-calorie packs, even though you think it's keeping you in a calorie deficit, it's still not filling you up because you're lacking vitamins and minerals and these good nutrient dense foods that
and
make
then all
you
your
feel
macros,
full.
yeah.
Right.
So it's the same calories, but it's a completely different outcome.
Yeah, exactly.
I always, when I was working on my master's, there was one class and we were talking about same calories, but different outcomes, and how, yes, calories matter, but it's not the whole story.
Yeah.
And the difference in satiety, which is your fullness, satiety cues, hunger cues, and how the 150 calorie or 100 calorie lie, why saving calories can keep you hungry, and in the long run can actually be, a roadblock to weight loss when it's needed or wanted. And we use the analogy or not analogy, but the visual of a 20-ounce soda. 20-ounce soda is 250 calories, not to mention it's just 50 grams of just added sugar.
And there's no nutrients in it.
You can suck down a 20-ounce soda probably in 15 minutes. Very easy, or however long it would take you, in addition to a meal or other snacks, right? So that 20-ounce soda is more than double, triple your daily intake of added sugar, empty calories, but 250 calories of strawberries is 6 cups of strawberries. Like literally, if you were to sit down and eat 6 cups of strawberries, like you're not going to be able to.
Right.
One, you're going to feel full because of the volume of food in your stomach, the time that it takes to chew all those strawberries. Like, so you can get so much more because strawberries also have great antioxidants and vitamins and minerals and fiber. You can get so much more for a lot less when you have whole foods versus I'm just just looking at the calories for the little fun size this or that, or
or you're saving, I'm not going to eat this for breakfast because I know I'm going to have a handful of chocolate
you
later.
Skipped a meal so you could afford half a donut,
right?
Or you're like skipping lunch, or having a no carb lunch that you can have a chocolate rice cake later and save all your carbs for that. And it's like then you wonder why you're hangry, why you don't feel great, don't have a lot of energy, and then you're doing this
craving sugar all the time.
And then you do this for months, and then maybe you start losing some hair. Maybe your skin doesn't look great anymore. Like there's other things that go on. Right. With these, ultra processed, low calorie foods, like you're missing out on nutrients, fiber, protein, stable blood sugar, right? Because calories are a number, but your food is actually information. For your body.
I remember when the, was it Snackwells and Weight Watchers, like all those like sugar-free candies and stuff came out, and people were just like eating them, like whole bags of them, because they're like, well, there's zero calories in it. Like it's very
zero
low
sugar.
calorie,
It's like 5
whatever
calories,
it is.
And zero sugar.
But when you're eating like a whole bag of them, so then you're signaling to your body sugar over anything else. And so then you're just craving, and you can't figure out, why can't I stop eating sugar? Like there's a problem. I'm broken. It's just the way that I am. There's, I'm just a sugar person. When in reality, you've been feeding yourself this artificial, chemically enhanced sugar option or alternative. And then your body's just craving it in any form. And so, like you're not going to be able to say no to cookies that are in front of you, or you're not going to be able to say no to, sweets that are all around you. And it's actually worse for you because then you're overindulging in all the sugar all the time. And so you really do have to start teaching your body how to eat the whole foods versus, eating 1,700 calorie packs throughout the day. And it's hard, it's hard to retrain your brain, and you are going to have probably experience some of that, like I'm missing, or I'm craving, or I'm wanting some of these things. So it's not going to be like an overnight, all right, I ate 3 great meals and now I'm done. Like your body is going to have to relearn how to eat whole foods. And then eventually your body starts craving those whole foods. I've seen that happen even with my husband. When we first started eating good, he ate a baked potato, Caesar salad, corn, like those were his vegetables. And now he eats everything. There's not really much that he won't eat when it comes to like whole foods. But it took him a while. It took him time to redevelop those taste buds.
Yeah. There's also a psychological reward system around this mentality of the saving calories trap, where it's, the eating the tiny portions to earn a treat, or that psychological idea or thought of reward system, like I was good, now I get this, right? So it's training yourself, teaching yourself that because you restricted, because you deprived, that was somehow good, right? So it's reinforcing an unhealthy habit, one that's not serving a purpose for your body, your overall health and wellness, for something that is rewarding for the brain, that activates the dopamine centers, like the sugar, like the donut, or the fun size candy bars, or whatever other 100-calorie packed treat that you're, saving for. But then what ends up happening next is you get a blood sugar crash. You get intense hunger later because it's not enough fuel in the tank. I mean, It's like putting a quarter tank of gas a quarter tank worth of gas in your car, and then being like, okay, but we have to still go the same 400 miles on a full tank. Like it's not going to work out. Like, spoiler.
Yeah.
You're going to be pulled over on the side of the road out of fuel. So intense hunger later, which then leads to that overeating and grazing over time, because willpower, we've talked about this in other episodes, is a finite resource. We only have so much of it to spread out throughout our day and across all of the things, right? And then feeling out of control, and that perpetuates that guilt cycle. And then it's like, okay, well, I'll restart, and now I'm gonna, the next day, I'll be better. And again, it's just feeding forward that same language of good versus bad, and equating it to always less with our food.
Right.
And I think, that's really problematic, and in the long term is not setting any of us up for success. So on the flip side of that, I do think there is value to learning portion control and moderation in sizes. I mean, in general, if you look at the average portion size of Americans, like when we go out to eat and everything, I mean, like our portions are
massive,
large.
Yeah.
And we tend to, we underestimate how much we're taking in and overfill our plates for sure. So if you are on a journey where you're like, okay, I want to learn about portion sizes and what's appropriate for me, there can be value and benefit to picking up those prepackaged little, almond packs that are 100 calories or whatever, to show you like, oh, actually see it. I used to sit down and go through a 3/4 cups of this.
Right. Oh my gosh. Now, yeah. If you just look at the nutrient labels on, or the nutrition facts on like nuts or trail mix.
Well, they're high fat food, so it's a very high calorie.
Yeah.
But nuts also have so many nutrients and fiber, and they're very balanced. But like, if you did have a weight loss goal, and then all of a sudden you're pounding a cup, 3/4 cup to a cup of nuts on top of everything else, that could be problematic for your long-term goals. So there's time and a place, I think. But if this becomes your go-to and just kind of what you do, and you're replacing, this is the other part too, right? Where like calories are numbers, but food is information. So if you're replacing, let's say Greek yogurt and berries, or eggs and toast, or an apple with peanut butter as part of your meal, or the snack for half a donut, so something that's 150 calories across the board, that half a donut, no protein, no fiber, quick sugar spike, which also means very quick crash, and then you're going to be hungry again in 30 to 60 minutes, versus the Greek yogurt and berries, or the eggs and toast that have protein, carbs, and fat, as well as vitamins, minerals, and fiber, is going to give you more staying power.
Yeah, and I think that's what people are doing, right? Like, so we're looking at our breakfast options, right? So if you're, you're going to go, all right, for breakfast, I feel like I overdid it yesterday, so I'm just going to eat this 100-calorie pack of muffins, and I'm not going to have eggs and bacon and sausage, because that's, 500 calories. But then that happens, like you eat that, and then by 3:00, you're like slamming all the food that you possibly can, and not even, calculating it or whatever. Cause you're like, well, I just had a 100-calorie pack for breakfast, so I'm okay.
Yeah. I'm doing good. I'm starting my day off low on my intake.
Yeah. So I have it. I've stored it up, when you don't realize, like, if you had just eaten the 400 calories at breakfast, by lunchtime, you're probably only going to want 400 calories. And then by dinner time, you're going to want, like 800 calories. And that's better than 100 calories here, and then nibbling on things. People don't realize how much, like, it's moms who eat whatever's left over on their kids' plates, and they don't realize they're eating 400 calories of leftovers, right? Because you're not paying attention to those things. You're just grazing. And then next thing you know, you're over in your calories by like 500, 600 calories, which can be a problem. So I think having really good, balanced, focused meals 3 times, 4 times a day is so much better than just eating protein bars, protein shakes, mini calorie packed things, packaged foods, because you really are getting better quality, which is going to help with your hormones. It's just going to make you feel overall better, overall full and healthy. And
yeah, I mean, I think it feeds back to the earlier points when I was saying about numbers versus information.
Yeah.
You know, one of these keeps you alive. If we want to go back to the donut versus the example of the eggs and toast, Greek yogurt and berries, one keeps you alive, one actually fuels you. So if you feel like you are someone that's in the 150 calorie trap, where you're always going for the lower calorie foods and or saving your calories for half of this treat, half of that treat, or this 100-calorie pack because it's lower calories and that's all you're focused on.
Yeah.
Again, one keeps you alive, right? Because, I mean, fed is best, so definitely have to keep the lights on. But one actually fuels you and provides the information that your body needs to give you the best results and outcomes from an energy perspective, from blood sugar stabilization, for cognitive function, for the balancing of your hormones and the ebbs and flows that naturally come in supporting that, for supporting the demands of your training to then give you the outcomes that you're looking for. So time and place, those 100-calorie packs can help you learn how to moderate your portions and better portion control and help you understand what's an appropriate portion size for you. But if it's coming at the expense of eating whole foods, that can be problematic. And with the earlier, example of the 6 cups of strawberries to a 250 calorie, 20 ounce soda, like whole foods are naturally a little lower in calories, but very nutrient dense. So in the long run, it's going to keep you fuller longer and provide the information that your body needs at the cellular level to show up for you in the way that it wants it to, which just feeds forward into better mood, stabilized energy, all of those things that also, if you listen to our previous episode about burnout, helps fight burnout and combat stress and fatigue and just enhances your wellness.
Yeah. I think visually people don't realize what, people can't look at a plate of food and just guess the calories. So I think that there is, with a lot of my clients, I will have them track for 3 days. All right, track everything you're eating. Don't change because you're tracking. Like, track everything you would normally eat. And it's funny how many of them look at like what they're eating and they're like, oh, I've only been eating 1,100 calories and this is like what I've been eating every day for a while. Or, oh my gosh, I've been eating 3,000 calories and I didn't even realize it because I feel like I don't eat at all. Like, I'm always hungry and I barely eat anything. And so having some sort of visual, so like on my fridge at home, I have meals visually posted, right? It's like a printout that I just posted there so I can see it. Like when I'm like, cause I get very like, I don't know what to eat today. I just need to make something. So I'll look at that and be like, oh, that actually looks good. I'll grab that. And it's kind of just like a visual representation of how much food or like what I can piece together for good macros. Like, it's just a quick guide. I feel like when I look at that, it's like, okay, I know I can eat these things and that's about what I would need throughout the day. So there's like a breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. People don't pay attention to what that looks like. So I tell people like track for a couple days just to even get a baseline of where are you? Like what are you doing well? Which meals are you eating well? And then which meals are you feeling like you're not doing well? Because we don't really pay attention to those things. And if you've never tracked your food, you probably have no idea how many calories you're eating, what kind of nutrients you are actually getting in. And so just having some sort of visual, and then also learning like, what does 3 ounces of chicken actually look like? What does, a cup of potatoes actually look like? Because like you said, in America, our portions are huge. So, if you're, I don't even know, like out to eat and they give you potatoes, it's probably not a cup of potatoes. It's probably way more than that.
Multiple
right?
servings worth.
Mm-hmm. And then we have this generation of like, you have to finish your plate, right? You have to, anything that's on your plate, you have
Clean
to finish
plate club.
it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we have a really misidentified idea of what food portions actually look like. So I think that measuring things out for just a little bit, especially if you're like a routine, I eat the same thing over and over again. I know we've talked about this in past episodes where I measured out my husband's smoothie bowl that he has every day. And he was eating like 1,200 calories worth of smoothie bowl. And then I just changed the granola and the honey and it got it down to like 500 calories, right? So having just like a little bit of time to like measure things out or actually read the nutrition labels on some of the foods that you are having to see like, all right, I'm only supposed to have a 1/4 cup of this for that many calories. What does a 1/4 cup actually look like? and it can help.
Yeah, absolutely. Being aware of portion sizes, what you're putting onto your plate or in your bowl is super important. And I think also trying to stop always eating less, but instead focus on eating smarter. Eating more for nutrients versus always worried about the calorie content can really take you far in just feeling full and satisfied, and giving your body the information, right? Because food is also information, giving your body the information it needs to show up for you in the way that you're asking it to.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Good luck.
Thanks for spending your time with us. If you found this podcast helpful, we would love for you to share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe on your podcast platform. If you have nutrition or fitness questions you want answered on future episodes, we would love to hear from you. You can submit these questions to our email, thenutritionrevolutionpodcast@gmail.com, and follow us on Instagram @thenutritionrevolutionpodcast.